Welcome everybody back to the channel. We've got someone special. We've got Silicon. It needs no introductions really. Welcome Silicon to the channel. Silicon, if you don't know him, he is an early investor in Veve. He stocked up 125 Todds Batmans from the store, and he's a guy who just sees opportunity when others are scared. And welcome to the channel, Silicon. This is a dream come true for me. How are you?
I'm doing good, Prez. Thanks for having me, man. I watched a couple of your interviews. Great job on your channel. I know that was it 6 months back, maybe you said, "Hey, could you come on my channel?" I said, "Anytime." And you've done some interviews. You've got a great channel going. So congrats to you. And
Thank you so
I
much.
recommend everyone subscribe to your channel. Get you to 1,000 subscribers, man.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. That would be. I'm pinching myself because yeah, I did ask you. But I think yeah, yeah, I needed that confidence to build that confidence to get to where I am.
Yeah,
It's yeah, man. I was just messing around with some friends, like from batcowls that I'd never, that obviously I've never met too. But
yeah.
I felt like okay, before we get onto the to anybody really. I mean, I never dreamed I'll get Matt Mason on and stuff like that. It was insane.
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's the one I just want. Yeah, I thought it was a good interview. And I like the mix of the broadside and the batcowl questions. So I thought it was really great.
yeah, and yeah. Hopefully today, we could be unafraid to cross streams, and talk about both Vivi and Batcowls. No, no, of course, because
Yeah,
I think we all swim in the same space. I feel so, and I
yeah.
don't think and I people who
I
doubt.
just heard when you said cross streams, I was thinking something completely different. So,
Oh yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but you know what I mean. Like, people hold.
yeah,
Obviously, people have a preference, but that's okay. Like you can have one main thing, but yeah. Hopefully, we'll try and like and do that today. So the first question I
I
have.
don't know.
Oh,
They're kind of like factions, Prez. Like, you look
mm,
at the Vivi crew, and people
yeah.
were once all in Vivi, and then you look at the Batcow crew, and a lot of the same community was intercommingled. And then you look
Mm,
at the Broadside crew, and a lot of those people like were commingled.
mm,
So to me, it's like, all these NFT projects are telling these stories about factions and different things. It's almost like we're creating this real life faction where it started with this licensed IP, and it's kind of like then it's evolved to, these different types of storytelling, like with Broadside and with Batcowls, it was rejected, and people were made fun of it because they just looked at the total mint count of 200,000 NFTs at
mm,
$300 each, and they said, DC's being greedy and la 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 la. And I'm
mm,
like, the way I saw it was like this was just an open mint,
mm,
and it just kind of marketed, unfortunately, a little differently than what came across as greedy corporate, Web 2 company trying to dip in and take advantage of poor little Web 3 people.
mm,
So again, not we all know the real story, what's happening there, but I'm excited about what I'm seeing with both actually all three projects,
mm,
and I'm part of all three in some way.
mm.
Obviously with Veve, it was actually part of
Major.
my NFT journey. Yeah,
Mm,
and this is part of my journey, right? So
mm,
investigating NFTs, I was more into the investment world. So,
okay.
selling stocks and things like that. And then I'm like, I'm not really getting that far ahead without doing some major gambling. So, like, I'd have to do some major options trading or some major gambling in the market to
Mm,
like really kind of get some leverage. So I said, let me see what else is out there. And at the time, you saw a couple of billionaires say, "Oh, we're investing in NFTs." You saw Mark Cuban, you saw Chamath, one of the guy who invested in Facebook. You saw him saying this on CNBC and stuff, and I'm like, what are NFTs? So
mm,
that started my journey. I actually created my own NFT project on Rarible with my own art. I was messing around.
mm.
Nobody bought it, of course. I didn't market it correctly or know
Oh,
what the hell I was.
oh, okay, okay. I'm sure
Yeah.
now
But
people would, but yeah.
Uh, well, I've given a couple away, yeah. So there's some people that have them in their wallets, and I have like 80 still. uh,
Okay.
but it was cool. It was like I'm like, okay, well, I learned that lesson. Like I just spent $300 or something, but I learned about the mechanics of how it worked. I've always been a
Mm.
tech guy, and so
Mm.
understanding how things work. And then also like, my other hobby is coin. One of my other hobbies is coin collecting, and
Mm.
so actually, I have a couple right here. So here's some examples. Actually, I'm going to cover the serial numbers up, but you get an idea of this is a
Mm.
platinum coin. Um, oh,
Mm.
there you go. And that's
Yep.
this is actually a 2008 $25 platinum eagle
Wow.
proof.
Mm.
So this is a US coin that has a value of $25 on it. You could go spend in the store in the US. But obviously it's worth more than that because it's a quarter ounce of platinum. So that's an example of some of the coins I collect. So coins, really taught me a lot about money and how societies over time have treated things from shells to obviously we've seen some like the tulips, right? And everybody knows that story.
Mm.
To different, just kind of money and real money made out of gold and silver, then fiat money, and people not really understanding the differences between what fiat money is and real money is, and then the whole like banking kind of like hacktivism thing, and now cyber cryptocurrencies born right out of that.
Mm.
So, studying money has always kind of been something that's been of interest to me. Art has always been something that's been of interest to me, and then
Mm.
kind of tying this, I feel like NFTs kind of ties it all together, right?
Yeah,
Because
that's weird, right? Because I like both too. That's pretty funny.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that was my foundation. But long story short, I'm a top, probably 50 or 60 wallet in VV. I'm a, for batcowls, I've got 36 batcowls. I did sell one to buy some 1059s. We can talk about that.
Oh, which
I
which you
won't
minted, right? Which you
very
minted. Which you minted, right?
yeah, I meant it.
I wish
Yeah,
I did.
yeah,
Wish
so
I did. Yeah, I only did 7, but yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, only did that's decent. I think the average user, we took a poll yesterday, and I think they said the average person has one batcowl. So,
Yeah,
um,
1.5, I think. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, wow. We're gonna get
you
into
can't
some
have half
issues.
a batcowl. You either have one or you don't.
That is pretty funny actually. When I saw that 1.5, I'm like, so what? Did they chop that bad cow in half? Like, yeah, you're right. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, out of 6,700 unique users, Palm holds 1,000, and Dash 3D owns about 700. So if it's 11,500, let's just say 9,000. There's 9,000
yeah,
supply, but 6,700. So really, there's only a select few believers that stacked. So
yeah. I mean, you've got the Palm wallet and the Das 3D wallet that still have a lot. I think Das 3D sold quite a bit, but
mm.
still, they probably have 2/3 of what they've got, or somewhere around there. Who knows? I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody's
So
tracked.
so what they've sold are a lot of the rare ones already. So me and my boys have been feasting. But
Yeah,
as you probably have noticed that it's been a good while since that's really listed something rare and nice. Um,
yeah, because they don't
yeah.
want to sell it in the market. They're not.
No.
They're not. Yeah, they have time.
Okay. Yes. Yes. We have time. It's an open project at the moment. So yeah. No. Yeah. It's a funny thing. So yeah. They had a 2-year roadmap, and all of a sudden it's open now. So um. Okay. So like while we're in the Batman subject, man, so tell me about your first time seeing Batman and how you fell in love with Batman as a kid, and then how you kind of like fell into it, and because you bought 125 Todds from the store, like, how did you make that, like, formulate that decision? Oh well, first of all,
Yeah,
Batman. First of all, Batman.
yeah. My earliest memory of Batman was probably like watching the '60s series show on TV. So the Kapow Bang kind of live action. So that
Mm,
was my first kind of memory of it, and then of course the toys. As a kid, you buy toys, and there's Batman toys and action
mm,
figures. I love to collect action figures as a kid. And then I think in the, the 80s, when you had the reprise of, the Batman movies come out, that was kind of a big deal. But even before then in comics, my stepdad was a big comic collector, and he had boxes and boxes of comics. And I remember kind of going through, and Batman was always one that stuck out to me
Mm,
as interesting. Some of the other ones were just a little too, out there, but Batman always kinda stuck to me. And of course, like, I've got the poster of the Mondo poster of the McFarlane 423 cover behind me. That
beautiful.
cover, you know, like, ever if you collected comics, like, unfortunately, I just happen to know this because my stepdad was a big comic collector and a physicals collector. So
Mm,
just a collector in general, he had it, and he had disposable income. So,
mm,
it would be like, sending the kid into the toy store with dad's credit card. Except, it was his credit card, right? So like, he collected McFarlane. I remember McFarlane being a big deal, um, you know, in the 80s, right?
mm,
And it being a big deal, in our house. So,
mm,
he had a lot of McFarlane art. And I remember McFarlane was kind of top grade. And so that was sort of what, when I came on a Veve, I saw Batman, okay. But then when I saw Todd, I was like, it's McFarlane. Like, it
mm,
just triggered this young collector, like, spark in me that I realized this was important.
mm,
So that's why I'm like, "Wait, guys, like, who the F is, who are these other, okay, yeah, there's these other guys, I get it, and they're famous, but, like, it's McFarlane." Like,
mm,
if you know comics and like, that he's the one. And again, this cover is responsible, behind me, for
mm,
reigniting the comic
mm,
world. So, I mean, there's some, now, of course, that's an opinion, but that's sort of like what's out there, is that the 423 and the way that McFarlane did Batman, the way that he did Spider-Man as well,
mm,
a lot for Marvel and DC both, so he's up and
mm,
coming, and then obviously launched his own, and he said that this was an early inspiration for Spawn, that this was it right here. So, I mean,
mm,
you're just talking about, you know, the best of the best.
mm. Wow. Okay. Favorite Batman movie, Silicon?
Um, oh man, you're putting me on the spot. I know you sent me these questions, but I didn't like really like think about them.
And I didn't give
You
you
know,
enough time. I usually send them like a
yeah.
day or so, but we're caught up in the middle of 10:59 mania at the moment. So this is my excuse anyway. So this is on me, Silicon. So take your time. Anything,
No,
anything
no.
you.
I mean, so like, I can't put it on any one, like, oh, that's my favorite. That's my favorite
Okay,
one. But the
name me a
series,
few. Name me a few favorites then.
yeah. I mean, the series, with Christian Bale,
Mm,
Batman. So those ones, like, really kind of, I
mm,
relate to,
mm,
um, and I connect with. I really like that series. Obviously, I remember the '89 Batman, and I remember Prince in the Parade, and you know, and I look back and I'm like, this is kind of campy Batman. So it kind of reminded me of
campy
Batman when
Batman.
I grew up,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
it was
Because I grew up
campy
to a
before.
TV show.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was campy, right?
It was
But
campy.
it
Yeah,
was but it had heavy hitters in it, right? Like,
yeah,
you had, well, they all have, like, a special place in my heart, but I would say, yeah, the Christian Bale series, like,
yeah. Me too, man.
you know, they're just really
So
good.
awesome, man. And yeah, just the League of Shadows. That was the
Yeah.
predominant theme of that. It's so good. Like I could say, it's just still chills. It's so rewatchable that you could just put it on anytime, and you would go through movies one, two, and three, and it would be so good,
Yeah.
timeless. So I
Yeah, and
agree.
I watched them again. I try to, flip through some Batman movies. Like, if I, get locked in a room with COVID or something, then it's like, okay, yeah, now it's like I
Yeah.
can, have a list. Okay, let's rewatch all the,
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully not
Exactly.
anytime soon.
No, no, no. And yeah, yeah, it's a lot less scary out there anyway. Um,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to put this out there because okay, first of all, how did you see the Todds in this 125 Todds in the store? What's the story about that? again, because I'm so
Yeah,
fascinated to see your thought process on how do you spot an opportunity so early, and I wanna learn. Like, so what was
yeah.
your, you know, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I started looking into NFTs the October before, so probably when Todd was released on the app in October of 2022, or I'm sorry, what was it, 2020?
Mm,
But I hadn't found Vivi yet, right?
mm,
So and not a lot of people did. Like when I came in, I remember that week them saying, "Oh, yay, we're up to like 5,000 users." Like, I was March 2nd, 2021, so it
mm,
was
mm,
under 5,000 users, probably a few thousand when I joined. Um, so when I came in the app, I was looking around trying to complete sets and buying stuff and, just trying to figure it. At first, it was buying that first one, going, okay, am I gonna like literally look over at my wife and she's like, you better not be buying this stuff. Like she hadn't heard what I was researching. She had heard what I was researching and she's like, you better not be, you better not be buying any of this stuff.
oh yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
just like, "Oh, okay." But I came in the store and, started collecting stuff and, the Rizzos were sold out.
Mm.
Actually, the Rizzos are just sold out, like, the day of I came because I was still trying to figure it out,
Yeah, the
and then
Todds
the
the
prices
Todds sold out when I came. So I first came into NFTs as well because I heard of, oh yeah, I've seen Todd, and that was the reason why I came in. Sorry, go ahead. I was just putting
yeah,
in there as well. Yeah.
yeah. No, no, yeah, totally get it, right? So, the Rizzos were sold out, they were $800 at the time, off off market. Then the market shut down, so Vivi went in, and I think they were concerned about the market activity and the
Mm,
hype around everything, so they, like,
mm,
just shut down the market. But
mm,
trades were still allowed, so people were trading off app, and so there was Telegram and Discord, and so I
mm,
ended up finding a Discord. But before that, I just kinda looked at things for face value and realized, like, but the Vivi team says this is, their favorite NFT. They say that this is the
mm,
token number 1. It's important.
mm,
And then I looked at the art. I'm like, yeah, of course it's McFarlane. Like, and it
it's
looks
beautiful.
interesting.
Yeah.
So that was really it. I just trusted my instincts of knowing art and knowing what I liked and knowing the comic books and my stepdad collecting. And
Wow.
I think all those things kind of just converged. My brain was like, that's the one.
Mm,
There were plenty available in the store. When I got my first one out of the store, it was mid
that's
number in the
crazy.
500 range.
Wow.
Um, so I just started buying them, and then that day I called my family and I said, "Hey," I called one of my brothers and I said, "Hey, I wanna tell you about, like, this thing," and I just wanted to, like, before I like, alert my whole all my brothers,
Mm,
I wanted to just, like, see how it went, and so, like, then a few days later, a week later, I'm like, "I need to call my whole family," so I called my brothers and I just said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you something, and it sounds insane,
mm,
but you guys have known me a long time, you understand, like, what I do, and,
mm,
this is an opportunity that doesn't come along very often,
mm.
and you need to consider and look at Vivi, and you need to go buy as many Todds as you can get." And so that's sort of where it started. So,
Ah,
I had some brothers buy 10 Todds. I told my neighbor he bought 25 Todds before it sold out.
oh my.
And
Wow.
he's just literally sitting on the 25 Todds. And he'll every now and then he'll say, and not even every now and then, like pretty much once a year or something, he'll just be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And so I did tell him when Todds were at 10,000, 12,000, like, "Hey, they're at an all-time high, like, or, they're just you might wanna sell some." He's like, "Well, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm selling, but I'm keeping it in the app. I'm going for more Disney stuff." And
Mm,
so then he's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna keep my position." I'm like, "Okay."
mm,
And
mm,
so he looks at it as like whatever, fuck off money. Like if it's something, it's something. If it's nothing, it's nothing. And
mm.
and then he also bought like 25. Um, so he maxed out on the other Batman stuff that was available. So it was Joker FA and a few other stuff. So he'd actually be considered like a whale right now, in some ways, but
Mm.
he's not active in the app or anything.
Wow, that's interesting. Um, so I would say, so right now, what would you like say what your strategy is with the Todds as it stands today? Because obviously, it's in a bit of a situation right now, like with any market. But what would you tell
Yeah.
people? Like, what would you give what would you say your strategy is, and what would you tell someone regular that is holding still?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has to make their own choices, so I'm not here to, like, give advice on what they should do, but, like, what I
Mm,
do, and I kind of focused on what I'm doing is, the whole idea of buying Todds and it wasn't just Todds, it was other stuff. There
Spider-Man
was a lot of
comments.
stuff with
Mm, mm,
black and white. A lot of black and white Batman is what I focused on because I like Batman.
mm,
Harley Quinn FA, Joker FA. I had 50 Joker FAs at one point. I had,
mm,
160 Todds. I had,
mm,
a lot. But the way I saw it was like that's kind of like firewood for
mm,
the future. So as things went up and I wanted to buy something, I could, right? And so
mm,
I use that as liquidity to then shift into golden moments. So I have like 8 Walt and Mickey statues. I have
mm,
I bought a lot of Spider-Man commons. I've got like 180 something. I don't know exactly,
mm,
something like that. Commons.
mm,
I've got over 200 plus Spider-Man collectible NFTs, and then I have I have a bunch of comics as well. Not a lot, not as many as a lot of other people have had.
mm,
I have about right under 1,000, 900 and change.
mm,
But total, I have over 3,600 NFTs on Veve. And then, the
mm,
batcowls is a whole nother kind of category. But my
mm,
advice to people in general would be like, you know, uh, if you well, first of all, you can't cash out of batcowls. So
mm.
um,
You
if you're
can.
playing the game, I guess you're
Mm,
just kind of gambling inside the system,
mm,
or buying and selling inside, or you're adding fiat or something, or whatever you're doing, or you have credits. But with Veve, I always think it's the most significant IP that's important. I think Todd will always be a significant IP,
mm,
being the first, Batman on the blockchain.
mhm.
Um, and there's some argument about like, well, it was on a private Go chain, and you can get
Yeah.
into minutia, but I think that Veve will eventually bring that metadata over that at least shows some of the Go chain data, so that
Mm, mm.
we can say undisputably this is the
Undisputably.
first
And to
blockchain Batman.
yeah, I was gonna say with that, obviously even yeah, Palm was like, yeah, PV like Todd was the first appearance. Like, so they didn't even challenge that. So it's not
Well,
like
it was smart for Matt. It was Matt Mason. It was a smart move on Matt's part. I mean, there was a little bit of a snide comment from the
a lot
Veve
of
team.
users and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It it was
yeah,
it was just kind of a sli it wasn't a big deal. It was a little
yeah.
side comment, and then, you know, Matt realized, like, look, at the end of the day, there's a huge community here.
Mm,
And, again, my take, Matt's a good guy. My
mm,
take was he's like, yeah, of course, we're gonna acknowledge,
mm,
Veve for having the Batman first, and whether it was DC Comics or whether it was DC Direct or whether, they're two different worlds, and like,
mm,
Jim Lee's not hanging out in DC Direct offices. In fact, I think it was McFarlane that is in charge of Direct somehow or something.
mm,
So anyway, long story short,
mm.
um, there was peace, and I like that approach. And I think
Yeah,
that at the end, the two projects could coexist. There's plenty of room, and
yeah,
hence you got a lot of people come over that came over to Batcowls and are still coming over to Batcowls from Veve.
yeah. Again, that's an interesting kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, obviously for I mean, yeah, I'll just put this up there. Like now that you've kind of broached it, it's because yeah, we need some peace because the funny thing enough, this was fresh off today, and just want to share it because and it goes obviously there. You know how back and forth things happen between um you know between like the communities, and
Yep.
this is it's like a live action, it's like it's an act it's like a live action movie, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like a talk show, everything combined together. And he goes, "Never forget when Dr. Prophet was fighting DC and Jim Lee took down his arguments. What are you thinking about DC now? Because obviously we've had some relative success with. Hey, I'm not even gonna downplay this.
Yeah,
We've had amazing success from 1059. So
yeah.
just to recap, my viewers, Dr. Prophet came in and he was challenging if the Superman one was, you know, if Jim Lee personally approved it. In which case, Jim Lee actually, you know, um,
It was if it was a scan because he said it. Hey, this looks just like a scan, right?
yeah, pretty much. And yeah, and then obviously after the dust is settled, he goes, "Yes, so much fudding that Jim Lee started to follow me. What really happened? It was absolutely fair game and comedy. The truth is DC enjoyed it." And to be honest with you, right, Silicon, like we know the power Prophet wields with his like, with the amount of money he has and the the sway that he has with the community, like the VV community and other communities, I guess. And I just didn't see the
Sure.
point. Like personally, like I didn't see the point of this. I mean, okay, the first time it was like, yeah, like and then, but now I'm just like, well, can we not just get along? And I've always, because we all come, like I come from VV2, and obviously I'm focusing in Batcowls Broadside just because I'm not like I still have stuff in VV, by the way, but like for
Yeah,
me, I wanna be specialized in something because I have a small budget basically, so I wanna know what I'm doing and do one thing well. Basically, that's why I'm here. But anyway, regardless,
yeah,
if you're a small time or a big time investor, you can pick and choose multiple projects. It's not, it's the same space. It's a very small space. So I was shocked. Like, so I just shot things out there. I said, "Hey, doctor, have you changed your mind about DC Comics and Palm? Rather have Harmony because we can coexist." A lot of people investing in both. And then, that's April 15, and yeah, a day later he goes, "I love DC. Bought a Batcowl. Bought some comics in the hope that you can read them in AR someday." So to me, I'm gonna take it, and I'll end it there, and I'll take it.
that's a big win.
Yeah,
Dr. Profits in the back community. That's a big win.
hey, I'll take it. And the thing is, like, I know there's been a lot of back and forth and like a lot of like bad blood with the Twitter stuff. But at the end of the day, um, it's a big win, definitely big win for Batcows. But
Yeah,
again, right? I think it's just it's kind of nice to have some banter, and you will always have like competition, right? And let's put it this way: there will always be competition between projects. Um, but there is a level of respect, and we were talking about this in spaces, like why some say spaces are more successful is anyone could come up there without the fear of getting personally attacked. Anyone could come up there and say what they think, whatever they think, and whether or not you have a big bag or not, or you have like one comic, they will come up there and they'll treat you the same. You have to raise your hands and you say your things. It doesn't matter what, like, who you are. And I think that's perfect because we're all people at the end of the day. There's people at the end of the screen. Like, you can fight almost, but then the destructiveness of it is just like, toxic. You know what I mean? Like, it's just yeah. Now that you broached that, so yeah, that
yeah.
was a W. That was a big W.
So yeah, and to give my take on that, so there's been a couple of back and forth between the back cow community and the Viva community, and I don't see the Vivi community really attacking the bat cow community that much. I kind of see it the other way around. And again, I'm in both projects.
Mm,
So, it and then maybe like some snipe back at, like and the example you showed is Dr. Profit, definitely like going
mm,
for it, right?
mm,
He thought they were scans. He's like, hey, these aren't unique NFTs. These are scans off a scanner. I can see the staple
mm,
right there, right?
mm,
And so Jim Lee's like, no, 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 this is art. Right? That staple was inserted or whatever, like
mm,
whatever it was. But I think that so what I think is important to look at is, we're kind of treating these kind of like we treat our football or soccer or baseball teams, and we say, okay, we're the we're the San Francisco Giants and you're the New York Yankees and we hate you guys, like that's sort of like the thing. But if you kind of take it apart a little bit and
mm,
and you look at other NFT communities, they
mm,
don't seem to really do that, right?
mm, mm,
What we talk about Web3. they act truly Web3, and they know that there's multiple projects to jump in and out of, and they're kind of like it's a different experience that they're going through.
Mm,
Um, and for us, I think for a lot of people, um, we get real personal about it, and
mm,
pissed and all this other stuff, and there's all this angst. So with my take is with the Vivi community, Vivi brought a lot of people that weren't into NFTs,
mm,
that didn't know what NFT was, didn't know what Web3 was,
mm,
into licensed IP projects, right?
mm,
We'll
mm,
just say I think that there's a lot of people that try to go after Vivi's community. So
mm,
there's
mm,
that. And then the batcowls, they've done, each Vivi, both Vivi and the batcowls have had their own spaces on Twitter, and
mm.
the batcowls community has spent a lot of time making sure there's always a batcowl space.
Oh
Even
yeah.
when I went in the other night, people are sleeping, like practically snoring on the phone. No one's talking. There's a space, right? So I think like in the last pump when Superman 1 came out,
Mm,
it was like this big, like, "Aha, this is our FU moment to the Vivi community, and we're gonna, like, rub it in their faces that we have Superman 1, and, like, we've been holding these spaces, and where have they been, and we've been building this space," and
mm,
there's kind of all that mixed up and all that excitement and energy, and then the market pumps, and you see the backhoe floor go to, almost 1,000 or whatever it was.
mm,
And you see, everyone coming in and some new whales coming in, right, into the space, which we still have, by the way. They're still active,
mm.
whales that have come in. So,
Mm.
but those whales were from Vivi, right?
They were. Mhm,
So again, I think that the community claims they want more users, right? And they want to, when is DC going to give us more users?
mhm,
Or when is Vivi going to give us more users? And I think what we need to realize is
mm,
we're all in the same family, like, we're all on the same side. We're
mm,
not there's no, yeah, there's a different faction, but at the end of the day, being respectful towards each other, that's
mm,
number 1. Because if
mm,
I'm looking at a project and I wanna come drop $10,000 in, and I hear, like, the chaos that I hear a lot of the times, I'm not gonna drop money. I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna be like, "I don't want that drama in my life." Like, I'm
mm,
moving on to something else, right? I'm putting my money somewhere else. This sounds
mm,
crazy. So I
mm,
think we all need to take the responsibility of the fact that we're representing the community. How would we like our community run, right?
mm, mm,
And then as this goes into metaverses, or as this goes into other places where we're interacting more, how would we behave ourselves, right? Because I think people behave differently when they know that somebody can't, like, knock on their door, right?
mm, mm,
And so I think there needs to be a lot more respect, and I think there needs to be a lot more cooperation. And, it's not about like, I've been sitting in this space for 5 years,
mm,
waiting for the community to come. Well, the community came and you guys were assholes to them, right?
mm, mm,
So, again, it's I think, when I say you guys, I'm just being in general, but you know what I mean?
mm,
Like it's about embracing and showing why, right? Versus the infighting between
mm,
different projects, because again, we're really all one big family. So,
mm,
um, that's kinda how I see it.
mm, mm. Yeah, I think obviously you'll never get rid of competition, sniping, especially when one is pumping and one is not. And you always see it, right? The confidence level is high when one is down and one is up. It's
Yeah,
really funny. Actually, this is even across even some OpenSea projects, you know. They come in and they're like, "Yeah, we've made it, baby." Told you guys should have cashed out. Um, hey, I think
yeah,
but I will say though, Silicon, I had just a conversation last night, like with them, and it's not like we also have some infighting in ourselves, and it's like, yeah, I think just we said this, like just the basic level of respect for everybody, and
yeah.
obviously there is a theme for the space as well, so respect for what the main theme of the space is, and then fine if you want to tell them about Batcowls, it's a Batcow space, you know um be respectful towards that person, and yeah, tell them about. So how I go about things is I just go on and like
And your common brother and sister and whatever you wanna identify yourselves as, but you're a common community that has a lot of the same NFTs, right?
mm,
Whether you want to say you sold out of it, or you're, are you telling me you're not going to go for that Miles Morales when it comes? Are you telling me that
mm,
you're gonna stay away? No, I bet you have an account and you're ready for the drop. You're just not going to promote it. So
mm,
it's vice versa as well, and
mm,
I think it goes both ways. And
mm,
I think with the Batcowls, the story has kind of been prolonged a little bit. We're sort of like, well, we got these
mm,
NFTs. Really, it came with the first drop, and actually, I got two of those free NFTs. I got a
mm.
Superman Legendary uh, storage device, and I think the other
Oh,
one
I
was
was
like
gonna
Wonder
say
Woman.
I thought like the comic, but okay, yep.
Yeah, no, I didn't get the comic. Um, the Legendary on the drop, at least. I think I got the common. But like kind of looking
Mm,
at that I was in that early when that controversy happened, because it was like this, oh, what is this other project Palm, and I don't know if you remember in Vivi, but there was a big uproar about it, and so
mm.
I'm like, well, I'm gonna register for this account. I'm gonna get my and I did. So uh, I just think that, yeah, with the Bat Cows, it's been a little bit slower story,
Mm,
but the rewards have been really nice. The airdrops have been it's dope. The project has been like in my opinion, a high end project, really focused in on the community. And I really like everything I'm seeing there. And I've had other NFT projects I'm part of where like the communities just died. And so really you don't have a project. I think
mm,
what people need to realize is without a community, you have nothing. Doesn't
mm,
matter how good it is or how great it is. There's no one there playing it. There's no one there to interact with. You have nothing.
mm.
The
I think,
community is really it.
yeah, no, for sure. And when you say that, obviously, um, again, there will be people watching that go on the Batcowl spaces. This is unignorable. Silicon Secure just coming over here. Um, but what I would say is, there are concepts you can talk about and other projects that you like and don't like, as long as it's within the bounds of respect. Obviously, like, because at the end of the day, people have feelings, and feelings are tied to bags too. So yeah, it's an interesting topic, and thank you for being brave and broaching this with me, because it's needed to. It's like the elephant in the room, I guess, in a
I
way.
mean, this is just the thing of the week on Twitter. I mean, there's like one thing this week, there's one thing next week. I think right now, since both markets are kind of down, in my opinion,
Mm,
depending on where you bought, your VV stuff and where your backhouse stuff. I mean, backhouse are up, so the floor is up. If you bought on drop, you're up, more than 50%.
2.5, two. Yeah,
Uh,
sorry, yeah, 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 50%. Yep,
yeah,
it was exactly
yeah, you're up.
550. Yep, yep.
Yeah, you're almost at double what you paid, right? Like,
Well,
so I
yeah.
mean, the floor is strong. The floor is pretty strong, and the back house stuff. And then I think with VV, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now,
Mm,
OTC deals, and
mm.
delivering, and it takes time to,
What
like
what would you
anything, it
say that
takes
what
time.
would you say the top three things? So we could close the kind of like your take on VV. What are the top three things that you
Yeah.
think will get VV going in a more positive direction?
Well, I think we've got Mitch, so I think one of them is already solved. I think the other part is the VV verse is going to be really important. So that actually rolling out this month, I think, on time, I think will be important, and people to beta test it and make videos of it. That'll get people excited.
Mm,
And then the third one is figuring out, the OMI utility program has kind of been merged in. There's a lot of questions on the token and the tokenomics. So just understanding a clear strategy, like what is Vivi's clear strategy moving forward with the token, with the project, so that people can make their decisions and move on at the end of
mm.
the day.
Okay, thank you, Silicon. And again, thanks for
Yeah.
broaching that with me. And we're gonna go on to some juicy shit right now, because it's time for the fun stuff. The difficult stuff's over. Now let's
The
go on to the
degen
fun.
stuff?
Yeah,
You want to go into
well,
degen stuff?
it's been a crazy 48 hours since minting 1059. We're in the twilight zone. Um, yeah, man, what are your thoughts in this? Oh, before I do that, let me just share this. I love this post, man. It goes, "Hey, this backhouse feel like the crown jewel," and you go, "Yeah, feels like the Basie of DC." And I was just
Yeah,
like, I remember messaging you like, "I fucking love you, Silicon," and he goes, "Yeah, I agree. You've
yeah,
been spoiled so far." Um, and then you said, "Yeah, I like to double down, spread the likely winners." I mean, at the end of the day, doesn't hurt to yeah, go where the winning, like wherever you think it's your money, you know. So yeah, at
yeah,
the end, yeah, yeah, you know, yeah, it's interesting. So before, and then when I do that, I could then go to the Palm side and go to the other fun stuff. So let's have a look at
yeah.
1059.
I bought a
1059,
lot of
baby.
so 1059 came out May of last year, the actual physical. And it was in spaces. People were talking about it. I was aware of it. Matt Mason mentioned it, right? It wasn't like, the team didn't mention that this is the FA of Batcowls. Like it was mentioned by the core team. And so I went out and bought like 40 copies of the commons. I have like 3 or 4 of the epics, and then probably 10 or 15 of the
Sorry, did you say
uncommons.
14 comments you had? Did you get already?
Like
Sorry.
40. No, in real life. I'm talking
Oh,
about the
oh,
IR.
oh, oh! I was gonna say, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have half a box of this stuff, right, from last year.
Mm,
And so when I saw it coming, I was waiting for it to come this year because again, um, this is the first time that Batcowls have been in real Batman canon, right?
mm,
And so we're part of the story. So now the Batcowl NFT project is being pulled into the real life comic, the one that you can buy at the store, right? Or has been pulled into it, and it's part of the story, right? And the storytelling.
mm,
And so, and the way you hear these storytellers talk when they have a spaces is they're talking like huge arcs and long term. Like they're not like talking stories that are like 10 comics. They're creating like a story that's like a long story, right? Like probably multiple years or decades.
mm,
And so they're kind of shaping it. And so to me, it was clear that this was an important comic. Um, Especially if you have back cows,
mm,
then this would be an important drop for you. And then the other thing they did with this drop, which was special, is they did it on a Tuesday, which I don't remember last time they did that. Um, if they've ever done that,
mm.
maybe they have. Again, I can't keep track of every drop, but they did it on a Tuesday. They sent an email out, right, like they usually do. They opened them in for 24 hours,
Mm.
which was another red flag for me. That means, like, this is important. We wanna make sure everyone can get it, and I
Mm.
think they limited them in at the total number of cows that are out there, so they
Yeah, so
wanted to just
you're
make sure
guaranteed.
every
You're guaranteed one per cow. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, one per
or
cow
1
and
per
account.
cow
Account. Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
1 per
one
yeah,
cow
1
and
per
account.
cow. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they did that, and, like, I'm like, they're, like, making this they're, like, putting a lot of emphasis on this without putting emphasis on it. If
Mm,
you read between the lines, you realize, "Oh, this is actually really important." I'm like, "Wait, I already knew this was important."
mm,
So, I went in and got it, right? And then I'm like, I need to try to complete the set. Legendary had already crossed 1,000. I kept buying commons and I bought the epics and whatever and the uncommons. And then I realized, wait a minute, like Jim Lee's on the cover of this thing, I think. Again,
mm.
rumor. But that guy looks like Jim Lee. He's wearing a DC hat
Oh, are we
and
gonna
he's got
get
this
there? Okay, we're
he's
gonna
got
go
this
there, baby.
army.
Yes, there
There's
we.
a tweet I posted where he's, like,
Hey,
wearing
let's
the
go.
same fucking outfit.
Yeah, let's go to those tweets, man. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, we're gonna have a laugh in it. This has been the most hilarious. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna start with your tweet, obviously, and then
Yeah,
we're gonna
and there's
devolve.
Jim Lee actually responded to someone, right, on Twitter as well
Uh,
about saying that he was working on
I
I think he was referencing
hey.
himself as Batman, though. I think he was referencing himself as Batman.
Okay. So this is it. Can you see it? Oh, let me go
Nope,
to
I
short
don't
and
see it.
stream. Yeah. Hmm.
There we go.
You go. FA who? Jim Lee. It's nice to see you on the cover.
Yep.
And he's
So
wearing a
so there's
DC
that one.
hat. Mm.
Yeah, but then there's another tweet somewhere in my Twitter feed where it's like a picture of Jim Lee, and he's wearing a black hat with a green jacket. It looks very similar.
Oh,
I think I might have posted. Did I post it in here?
no, you
It might
didn't.
be on another separate tweet. Just go to my feed. Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
And then maybe scroll down. Let's see. It's in here somewhere. Anyway, there's one of
I'll
it,
keep
it
going.
might, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a new post.
Oh, it's a new post. Sorry.
It might be a reply. I don't know.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay.
I'll have to find it.
Okay.
But it wasn't that long ago, like in the last 24 or 48 hours.
We've done a lot of tweets in it. We've been going insane. So
We've been tweeting and retweeting way too much.
yeah, man. And yeah, I've got you in my madness anyway. Um,
Yeah, I get sucked into
yeah.
your world, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I'll find the tweet. Let me get my phone. I'll find it. But it's Jim Lee sitting down. Here, I'll just show you the picture,
Oh, cool.
'cause I have it I'm pretty sure I have it on my phone. It's Jim Lee, oh, sitting down wearing the same army green jacket
No.
and
Yeah, I can
same he likes to wear black hats, right?
mm,
So this is so I did the side by side with that and the cover, right? Going, okay,
mm,
uh,
I
is
have
this
seen this.
you, Jim Lee? Like, do you want somebody to pose for you, like holding the phone too, to like get the
Hey,
hint
hey,
that
I've
this
got
is
it. I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. Yeah, let me put it up. Let me put it up. This is some important shit. Um, yeah.
yeah, I've been trying to get I was hoping Jim Lee would respond, but he did respond to someone in the community though.
Oh, so he is wearing a camo and he's wearing a DC hat. I,
He always
I
wears he always wears black hats. I see him a lot in the New York, that black hat, New York hat. But he likes black hats.
wow. Well, wow. I
So
mean,
what do you want him to do? Like tell you, yes, it's me. Like, of course it's him. Who else deserves to wear the DC hat on a comic cover? Common
oh
sense.
man. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, I suppose you would like t to know when Palm releases 423, right? That would be cool. That would be cool to
That would
get.
be dope. That would be dope to know. Yes,
That would
I'll
be,
be there in
yeah.
line.
What are your
Yeah,
thoughts
because
on the? Yeah, God.
no, I'm just
Sorry.
saying that's an important comic. It's a very important comic in my opinion.
Yes, that'll be an exciting drop. What about? So it's just some things that's been thrown up in the Palm ecosystem. What are your thoughts on like self custody?
Well, it's been promised to the team, like like at you look at Vivi, it hasn't been promised. It's been like, well, we'll see, maybe we got to convince the licensors, la 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 la. To me, there's no promises there.
Mm,
But with the batcowl community, it's been promised, and that was one of the things that I found attractive was, oh, I can move this to my MetaMask. Great. Oh, the team um, that's on consensus was involved in creating MetaMask. Great.
mm,
So it's a win-win, right? So I think that I think it'll happen because it's been promised. I don't
mm,
see them breaking promises here, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess, until it happens. Somehow HRO has been able to overcome all these obstacles. I'm just going to call them out because you know it's funny. I didn't really get into HRO as much as maybe I should have
mm.
or could have.
They're
I
ready.
bought
They're
a
ready from
box.
day one, right? So yeah,
Yeah, they
HRO.
were ready
Yeah.
from day one. I mean, I think that Palm personally, I think that Palm or Vivi should just take HRO out and buy them out because they have the development team to build all this stuff. They've done the trading. They allow you to take it off, off your wallet and take it onto, you know, uh, Ethereum, right? So I've seen HRO cards on OpenSea, right? And I think on IMX, right?
Mm,
They allow you to do group trading and all this stuff. They make it really easy. The app's easy to use. Like to me, the DC app needs some work on usability. Like I can't even view all my collectibles because it just lags. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you want me to go see that batcowl number? All right, I'll see you in like 10 minutes because I have
Yeah, 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 for sure, man. I really would like a filter for my own collection. Not as big as yours, but
a filter would be a great start, but like easy searchability, the ability to make offers that things aren't on the market, ability to make
mm,
offers that things are on the market, the ability to, do stuff if they really want people to like, both of, and this is both for Veve and for Palm actually. Um,
mm,
I think is important. But these are all similar features that I think, every ecosystem wants, right?
mm,
So it's sort of like, someone put a triangle on one of my tweets, and it was like the the triangle of like trade or something. And it was
mm,
like it was buy, it was sell, and it was trade. So you can buy, you can sell, but we're missing the trade component on
mm,
both of these platforms. The barter component, the ability
mm.
to be able to say, hey, Silicon Secure, you got 10 commons? Okay, I'll give you a legendary for 10 commons. How do I do that right now?
Trading, yeah, like HRO trading cards, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
man,
yeah. So
yeah, usability, yeah, yeah,
or you got a legendary, or you got a batcowl I want that's 15,000 and you want 15,000 in value. I mean, I have 15,000 in value in my account, but how am I going to make that happen, right?
Well,
And so
first of all, you let Prez know, and then he'll let you know his tips on if that was a fair value or not, and then
yeah.
you
Well,
ask some people as well, some other people, but you know what I'm saying here, because that's a lot
yeah.
trickier to kind of like quantify. But like,
Yeah, but imagine your skill set used with a barter, like with a barter system of that sort. And by the way, these projects still get their cut. They can still get their piece on the deal.
mm,
But like now it's done as a package, right? And so I
mm,
think that this is what, if you looked at the OTC deal that happened on Veve, that's what people are upset about. Is like, why can this OTC deal happen, but I can't do an OTC? I can't
mm,
transfer
mm,
stuff out, or I can't,
mm,
so, I think at the end of the day, it's needed. It's
mm,
not a problem in Web3 in general, like with OpenSea and self custody, because you can do it. You can offer, or you can reach out. I think the problem is knowing who the contact is. That's a whole nother problem.
mm,
But here we've got a community that knows each other.
mm,
And if you wanted to disable it and you're worried about like privacy or anything, you could just turn it off in your account. But in general, I think it would cause more activity to happen, and the community would be happier for now,
mm,
at least with the utility they currently have, and the licensors would be happier because guess what? There's more activity happening. It's the velocity of trading.
mm,
Velocity is important when it comes to any market. If you don't have velocity, you don't have anything. You
mm.
have like a stale market. Nobody wants to be in a stale market.
Oh, silicon, this is gold. What you've been saying the last, actually, this whole interview, like we started off with like some light Batman stuff, but this is serious. This is serious stuff, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Serious stuff. I'm not even gonna like footsie around. Like this is serious stuff. Okay, I have three questions because obviously we're coming up to the hour. Three really
Yeah.
important ones. So just your quick take on DC27 Batman one allocation for cows if they ever happened. What would you like to do with that?
What would I like to do? I like to get some. Um,
Yep,
I
me too.
mean, okay, so there's the me version that has 36 back cows. So the me version that has 36 back cows says I want one per back cow, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the version of me that says, okay, like that's probably not going to work if it's going to be scarce. So there needs to be a balance between scarcity and and price, right? You know what I mean? Like there needs to be, you know, and fairness and all this other stuff. Needs to be some balance there.
Mm-hmm.
So then the other perspective is like, well, one per account, right? But then I'm like, well, but some people just have a bunch of accounts, right? And how is that fair? So then it's like, well, maybe it's one per one per cow, one per account, and you got to burn something. Maybe you have to have like the full set of the storage devices to be able to burn this into a DC27 or Batman 1. Um, that would be fun.
Wow. Okay.
And hopefully it's not some strategy that I don't have that
Yeah.
I didn't set correctly.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe you burn a 1059 um, common and
You cannot
or
make
any 1059.
1059 any scarcer because there's gonna be 10 left. Oh
No,
my
but like
gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you
like
mean.
think of like the hard games you could play with the community and it or maybe you say, okay, fine, you got to burn two legacy cows, 1 and 2 series, and that gets you access, right? But I think they need to make it a little bit more fun because I
Mm,
know they were trying to make it fair, and there's a few people that are really loud and like, nothing's fair. We want everything, and to their to their in their favor, right? The people saying that. DC did say this was the crown jewel of
this
their
needs to
NFT
be the
platform. When
centerpiece.
I
This
think
needs.
crown jewel, I think the Queen. I mean, you're from the UK. It's the fucking crown jewels.
Mm,
There's a special room where all these crown jewels are kept, right? And it's like no one can touch them. They don't see the light of day. They're secure. Like this is important shit. So
mm.
if it's a crown jewel, then and
Treat it
we
as
have
such.
these crown jewels,
What does it
then
do? Yeah.
what is?
Again, so
But then they, yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, for me personally, like DC27 needs to be scarce and it needs to be the top comic. And people can say open edition and nothing is wrong. That post I made, which I'll pin in the video because I want everyone's opinions in there. So chuck them in there. But yeah, I still kind of I like the way 10 yeah, you know what I mean. The latest comic
59.
dropped 1059. Yeah, I should
Good
know
job.
this. I'm tired. I haven't had much sleep.
You know what
Um
number do you know what number you own Legendary to? I mean, come on, dude. Like, if you don't love it that much, just hand it over.
I got very lucky. I was able to snipe it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like yeah, got very lucky. Yeah. So for DC27, that worked for me. One per cowl in account. Everybody with the bat cowl with a crown jewel should get the crown jewel comic of Batman. If they're gonna drop like Superman collections, Wonder Woman, if they're gonna make this into a multi-year experience with different NFTs and hopefully tie it in a video game where we can then use it as wearable skins because we're talking utility tokens, right? So this is when people compare Veve and Batcowls, I see them as one Batcowl. Sorry, Veve is collectibles. It's meant to be. It's copy the old style and obviously put it in AR, right? And you could pose with
Yeah.
them and you can use it. Whereas Batcowls, to me, what it means to me is it's they give you real life utility. It's a fan access token to Batman. It's the ultimate Batman experience,
Yeah.
right? So these are
And
two things. Like
there's different types
yeah,
of utility. Like
hmm,
with Vivi, there's community utility. Like, okay, this guy owns a spa in Beverly Hills, so come get your, salt bath treatment or whatever. And you get 20% off if you own a
hmm,
partner statue or something like that, right?
yeah,
And then Vivi even has their NFT, which provides conference utility. So you get to go to in-person VIP events and things like that, right? We've seen that. And
hmm,
there may be more additional community utility. With Batcowls, I think it was by design. That utility was from birth, meaning like
hmm,
from the roadmap, from the day they sold them, we're giving you utility, right? So, and
hmm.
it's sponsored by the by DC and by Warner Brothers.
So I'm
So
good.
yeah, I think there's different kinds of utility.
Well, I mean, let's look at the market cap of CryptoPunks, Bored Ape, and Batcows. I mean, obviously these guys have funding, and obviously Batcows had funding too. But if you see the disparity between them, 1.15 billion CryptoPunks, 1.12 billion for Bored Ape, and 5.85 million. So obviously this is the number of tokens multiplied by the floor price, and and I'm just like, well, something's not adding up because we want these to be interoperable. And once people hear about the exclusive things that we got to get, and like when I got a discount at Park Row, Actually, no, when I got free drinks at Park Row, and the year utility that we're gonna get, sit back, because it's like I said this in Spaces, like it's like when your mom bought you, she's organizing a birthday party and she goes to the low cost store, and she managed to feed like 100 people with $300. That's basically bat cows. Like people are milking it. Like I've never seen so much for $300. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's just been an amazing experience. So, but then
You're
again,
getting a lot of it, not only just stuff, but like very important stuff. So, okay, the Harley Quinn stuff, we're still trying to figure out, what that
mm,
will be, and
mm,
we're gonna see, I think, something soon. But if you look at like the Legacy Cowl, that's a story that we shaped. And the last time DC did that was with was it 800 number or something?
mm,
And like people voting that way, or a dial in or mail in. I don't remember exactly what it was,
mm,
but okay, you can change this story, right? Not a whole, not incorporate the whole story, and not be part of canon, like
mm,
like not, we're merging these two, where now the storyteller um is creating a dynamic story with the audience. This
mm,
isn't something we've seen before.
mm.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Two closing questions is, well, I guess what kind of utilities would you like to see in real life after the roadmap? Let's say a new collection drops, or um, what kind of things would you like to see to bring back house some long-lasting value from a fan and yeah, uh yeah, from yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I know that DC probably has some legal requirements around this. So, at the end of the day, I'd like to see utility continue
Mm, me too.
for the back cows, and for
Mm,
them to continue to be the crown jewels,
mm.
because they are the founding NFTs, right? They are the ones that kicked off everything. Now, some people could say the floppy disks were, but the floppy disks, there was no monetary value, and it
And you
was
can't
just
wear it as
sort
a
of
profile pic. You look pretty silly if you put the floppy disk as your profile pic. But
well, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's unless, I mean, they're pretty cool looking though. So, I
mm.
mean, you could you imagine like those floppy disks as like
Did I just
actual,
fade
like
the floppy
real life?
disk? Sorry, Palm. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Can you imagine them like being jewelry? Like that'd be pretty dope.
Bling bling. You mean? Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mm.
But no,
Sorry.
I
Sorry.
think that, yeah, I think that would be important. Um, Maybe, I know you asked this to Matt Mason, but the ability to be able to reproduce something,
Hey.
or do
Is it?
partnerships. Like, what if we did, Bored Apes did a partnerships with Tiffany.
Oh,
They've done
stuff like.
partnerships with other people for jewelry,
Yeah.
or special watches, or like if you could do something, with a luxury brand, maybe, a special clothing line, or a pair of shoes, because a lot of people in sneakers are into crypto, right? Into NFTs. If you could do something like that, that would be really dope, like a cross, like kind of a cross thing. If you have a cow, guess what? You're going to be part of this artifact drop, and it's going to be just for you guys, right? I think there needs to be more of that cross pollination between projects. That would be exciting. But to keep the cows relevant, I think that's the number one thing I'd like to request of the team, is like,
Mm,
don't let the cows just die off into the sunset. Like,
mm.
and I don't think they're planning to,
No,
but
no, it's
like,
an open-ended
as,
project now, right? Yeah.
yeah, but
Mm,
as a holder and as a community member, I'd like to see it remain the crown jewels. And if it's not, then just tell me what it's going to be, or share what you can, and say, well, that was a crown jewel for 22 and 23, but now we're moving on to a new crown jewel, and we're sunsetting it. But you're always being an OG. Fine,
mm,
just tell me, but that wouldn't probably go over well with your core community base. So how do you like keep the balance, right?
mm. Okay. Silicon, I'm gonna open the floor for you for any topic, one topic before we close out. Um, anything you like.
Um, wow, I felt like we've had a good discussion. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that, it's an exciting place to be, both for me at least, being part of Veve, being part of Broadside, being part of Batcowls. couple of other projects I'm part of, but these are probably the biggest ones.
Mm.
Um, and I'm just excited, where we're going here. I'm excited about like all these NFTs I have in my account. It seems like we're still really early, still. Um, the NFT projects, I think, have done their best, and there's lessons to be learned. The communities really come together, and the experiences that they've had have been amazing. You
Mm.
know, I wish I was able to go to some of these physical in-person things that have been done in the past. Um, but I'm looking forward to kind of seeing this, merge into the back house of self-custody, um, and seeing where we can go. I'm looking to seeing that Batman 27 or the Detective 27 and
Uh-huh.
action, Superman. I mean, everyone's waiting for these, right? Like these special comics. 1059 is exciting. I've got like 20 or 30 of these things in my wallet. I still don't have a legendary. You guys ran up the floor quick.
Wasn't
The
me.
the
I bought it at 599. I don't know what the heck happened, you know.
Oh man, no, it's we've
Well,
got to.
woo.
No, when I say you guys, I mean the community, like
Oh,
people
okay.
people realize like, oh, this is important, and
Mm.
yes, we've been buying. It's been nice to see a little bit of activity and action in the market, and I
It's
think
been pretty
it's
funny.
assuring.
Mm.
We're in a bear market, right? I think the spring is thawing stuff.
Mm.
I think you got the halving of Bitcoin coming. I
Mm.
think that we're going to see a lot of activity again. First, you'll see it in crypto, and then that'll spill over into NFTs. So the faster we can get interoperability or the ability for people to on ramp, crypto directly into a project
Mm.
without going through a third party intermediary, which I know is challenging legally, but if like DC could figure that out, that would just crack this thing wide open
Mm.
because now you have crypto funds coming in,
Hey,
and
that's not been
and
ruled out, by the way. He's saying that Andrew, which the last interview with, he said that that was an open thing and a collector system as well, Silicon, like
yeah,
much like MCP. So a lot of interesting things to 1 year anniversary. Silicon, do you mind
yeah,
me closing? If you're done, I want to close on the funny tweets that we had with the FA
yeah.
pre. I just want to show them FA Prez for the common cover, and yeah, alongside FA Jim Lee. I just want
Did you see
yeah, it was
FA hat?
yeah. I just want to like close that. Can you see it? Ooh,
Nope. Not yet.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is FA Prez, by the way, guys. This is confirmed by me. Yeah, and this is FA John. You know, it's pretty funny, man. And yeah, this is Silicon.
I had to, man. After you guys did that,
Oh man, that was extremely funny. And then obviously this is ATL. This is the community, man. Like after I did that tweet, I knew it was gonna hit. And then like one from
yeah,
VV guy goes, "Hey guys, there's something I need to admit. I'm a hat."
yeah,
And
be
he goes,
viral.
Meet Angel. Where's your blanket?" Like saying he's an old man. Um, and then he goes, Prez. He goes, Prez, hey, I'm here. I'm right next to you. I'm like, yeah, thank you. You're my bodyguard. And then like there was a guy who goes, ah, shit, I found myself in the cover. I got the same luck on drop. So he's got himself like hidden in the DC logo. Um, and yeah, and then Claritza, from Vivi as well. And yeah, this is her apparently. So yeah, no, I was just like, yeah, I could definitely see the likeness. So man, I mean, yeah, just to close out, I mean, we could all have fun, man. Like I said, like, this
I mean,
is
that goes with the whole story of the Batcowls, right? Like, we are, Batman needs your help. Now you're part of the faction. This story is being weaved right in. And so, yes, we are all on that cover.
yeah, exactly. We are. And if
Yeah.
you can't find yourself, you're the guy in that DC, when it was hidden. But hey, I just want to close out there. Like I said, it's been a great stream, and Silicon, you're a legend, and yeah, I invite you back whenever you like to shoot it. I want to see. I want to do something with pirates. I'm building my confidence, obviously. Um, Grubba, Rolex.
What are you waiting for? Just go to Pirates.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah, just show them this video and say, "Hey, Silicon said for you to put me on the Pirates channel." Boom, done.
Yeah. No, I was actually there already. So I did one with
I know,
him.
I saw it. Yeah, so what do
Oh, did
you
you?
you worried about round 2? Like, what are you worried about?
Yeah, yeah. No, I just yeah, I'm just wanna yeah. I mean, I've got someone coming up too. Rolly, so that would be cool. To speak with him
Oh,
pretty soon.
Rolly's so yeah, Rolly's a
Yeah,
good friend.
to
Really good
to s-
guy.
to speak to him pretty soon. And yeah, just to get your thoughts. How do you guys? What do you look for like in a project? What and you've told me, and I think Silicon. This one has been a bit. It's been it's one of those things that people never talk about as well, and it's been interesting. So no, thank you so much for coming on. I know
Yeah,
we've run over time quite a bit, but I look forward to hanging out with you more. And yeah, man. Silicon's very approachable, by the way, guys. He's so just drop him a DM and whatnot. But yeah, no, thank
yeah.
you for this
If you can
stream.
get to my DMs, that's part of the challenge is I only let people message me if I follow them, so get my
Okay.
attention.
Okay, yeah, yeah, just probably just drop him a funny comment and you're in there. So, but all right, guys, I'm gonna finish off here. Thank you so much, Silicon, and yeah, let's enjoy this ride together with DJing into to this world that we're in, man. Peace out. Thank you
Let's
so
go.
much.
Yeah, peace out.
See ya.